How's it going, everybody? Hope everyone is doing well. My name is Jason, and finally, welcome back to the channel. Took a week off here. I had a crazy week last week. Unfortunately, I had 5 exams, 5 days in a row, right after the Grey Cup last week, so I wasn't able to get a video out, so I apologize for that, guys. And, obviously, the last few months of the season, really just grinding, putting out videos for you guys, so getting a little burnt out here and there, but now I'm back. I'm really excited to get going on some off-season content for you guys. But in this video, I'm gonna, do a few different things to talk a little bit about my experience at the Grey Cup, a little bit about the game itself, and then gonna be addressing this whole 3 versus 4 downs debate that's going around in the CFL circles right now, and then finally some content ideas that I am working on for this off-season. But really quickly, before we get started, if you want to support the show, the best way to do it is by hitting the like button and subscribing to Offseason for more CFL content just like this. I greatly appreciate it. And with that said, let's get going with the video. All right, let's start with the Grey Cup. And I had a fantastic time at the Grey Cup. Honestly, I probably shouldn't have drank because I had an exam the next morning. But honestly, I had to have a good time there, and it was just such a fun time. I was just right there in the end zone, and even though we didn't have any seats and we had to shove our way to the front to get to a view of the end zone there, it was still an amazing experience just to be there, experience a Grey Cup, mingle with all these other CFL fans from around the country. It was great. Met a couple other YouTubers that are CFL content creators during this time, and it was really fun time, honestly, just from attending an event. And I intend to try to go to Saskatchewan next year to go to the Grey Cup again. So really fun time from that perspective. Having it here in Hamilton was just, I think they did a really good job. The music was great. The Trews were great in the tailgate. Stephen Lee Olsen, I know a lot of people don't like relationship goals and what you're made of, but I thought he did a pretty good job as well. And then the halftime show with the Arkells and the Lumineers. Great stuff just put on by Hamilton in this. And I'm really excited to see what they do in 2023 when it's back again. So I just realized there's a hat missing here from my shelf here, so I'm going to make it look a little bit more complete. But let's talk more about the game itself. And I think the main talking point at the end of this game, because obviously it went to overtime, Hamilton got the game-tying field goal right at the end of regulation. And the thing that everybody's talking about is the 1 point that was conceded on the kickoff. So I was watching, obviously, at the game itself, and my reaction was, initially, I get why people are upset. Obviously, you're only down by 2, and if you get a field goal, you win the game, right? But, honestly, in hindsight, more I think about it, it was just like, I'm okay with the decision. They had a lot more opportunities to win this game. I'm actually more mad that there was a situation that they were up by 9 points, and they had a 3rd and goal inside the Winnipeg 5. And I think in that situation in the CFL, you got to go for it. You got to try to score touchdowns, and because even if you don't get it, you're setting up your defense in really good field position, really backing the other offense up. The short field goal really doesn't get you much of a marginal benefit in that scenario. And Hamilton just kicked the short field goal and went up 12 points, but then Winnipeg obviously had a great 4th quarter and came back. So going back to the Rouge itself, I think that getting the 35-yard line in that circumstance was super crucial. I know the screenshot when he caught the ball, it looked like he had so much open grass, but you never know. He could have only got to the 25-yard line. That's another 10 yards. Your field goal kicker has been struggling all year if you're the Tiger Cats. You're also going straight into the win, and that was another thing about this game. Almost all of the points in this game were scored by the team that had the win, not going against them. So, Hamilton, in that circumstance, put together a really good drive, but who knows if they had to go another 10 yards, it may have made the difference of them not being able to get the field goal to tie the game. So ultimately, I'm not that upset about that 1 point. I think Hamilton just blew it in other circumstances, and ultimately that's why the Winnipeg Blue Bombers won the Grey Cup. But honestly, just an outstanding game overall. Winnipeg really just showed the heart of the champion down the stretch in this game. Hamilton really played great through the first 3 quarters of this game, and really played a better game than I think a lot of people were expecting. I thought Winnipeg was probably going to win this game by 1 or 2 scores, and ultimately they win by a touchdown, but it took overtime to do it. Zach Collaros winning MOP, I'm not too sure about that one, but there really wasn't a clear choice in this one. Maybe you could have went with one of their defensive linemen or one of their DBs or whatnot, because Winnipeg's defense really was the difference in this one. Willie Jefferson with a really big classic pass deflection turning into an interception early on in this game. I thought that was big after Hamilton recovered a muffed punt on a punt and set them up in pretty good field position with the next play. Winnipeg causes the big turnover, and situations like that really showed you just how dominant this Winnipeg defense was all season long. And Hamilton's defense played great as well. It's just they couldn't keep them bottled up the whole time. In the fourth quarter, it really just fell apart for them. Darvin Adams, a lot of key catches down the stretch for Winnipeg in this one. So I was really happy to see Winnipeg win the Grey Cup, even if at the expense of my Hamilton Tiger Cats. I mean, winning back-to-back Grey Cups really solidifies you as a really, really good CFL team, and I'm really interested to see if they can, keep this whole crew together and go for 3 next year. Okay, now let's segue into this 3 versus 4 downs debate, rule change debates that are going around CFL circles right now. And, I mean, obviously, this broke after the commissioner's State of the League last week, where they kind of just casually on TSN, Dave Naylor, Faron Lalji reporting that the league is looking at everything, including potentially moving to 4 downs in the near future. And my opinion on this, and I have a video on my channel that said, is 3 downs the hill to die on? And when I recorded that video, the context was completely different because I thought, at the time, maybe we don't have enough money. Like, there's a lot of things in the CFL that are just unknown variables to the public. We don't know how much money these owners really have and how much they're willing to lose. And in that circumstances, it seemed like, the CFL may need the XFL's injection of capital in order to stay afloat amid the pandemic. But in a standalone league, the CFL is, I don't think going to 4 downs is necessarily the answer. But I will say, I think they should look at everything. The CFL needs to do their due diligence on everything. Scoring has been down, not just this year, which it was down significantly from 2019, but it has been a downward decline since 2017. But I think there's other things that the CFL could ultimately look at before they do something as fundamental as changing to 4 downs, even though I think that I would be very interested to see how the league would look with 4 downs. But ultimately, I think 3 downs is just such a key part of this league's fabric that, and there's other things that they really could look at, such as playing with the ratio, some forcing the teams to play more Canadians on the defensive side may help. Just improving the offensive line play, I think, is really key to improving the scoring aspect of the CFL. I think quarterback play would really improve if the offensive line play was better. So I think those are things that they could look at. I think padded practices, I mean, that's going to be a tough negotiation with the union. That's a big topic we're going to cover this offseason, the CBA negotiations between the CFL and the league, and the league and the Players Association. But yeah, I think there's other things that this league can do to, tinker with the game to try to make it more offense friendly. I think calling maybe illegal contact a little bit more often, those kind of things that, keep drives alive and allow offenses an opportunity to punch it into the end zone instead of settling for a field goal. I think those kind of things, you could look at if you're the CFL before you have to change something as fundamental as the downs. And I'm also really intrigued to see what the league's partnership with Genius Sports is going to entail. Genius Sports apparently is a company that has worked with data mining in terms of helping other sports leagues help reach other audiences, and obviously the CFL could use some help with that. I think it's no secret that it's an older demographic that follows the CFL, and they really need to start growing the younger base of viewership. But I think it's going to be really interesting to see what they bring to the table. And apparently how it works is they're going to get a 10% stake in the CFL's revenue. So they will actually have a very vested interest in helping grow the league. So I'm really interested to see what they bring to the table. I think there's a lot of things that they could improve. And we'll talk a lot more about that this offseason. And then finally, I just wanted to discuss some upcoming videos that I'm going to be thinking about working on this offseason. So one thing I wanted to focus on this offseason that I didn't do a ton of last offseason, I did a few things like the video on Corey Greenwood, but I want to do some videos on, deep dives on past CFL players, kind of looking at their career and stuff, and their notable accomplishments. So just doing videos dedicated to specific players. I mean, I have one that I really am looking forward to doing because I think he's an interesting case study in recent CFL history, a guy that I'm very familiar with growing up. So I have an idea for one that I'm going to be working on in the next couple weeks. But really excited to do more deep dives on individual players as we go into this off season. Obviously, I'm going to be recapping free agency, the draft, doing that kind of thing. But like I said, I want to mix in other kind of videos here and there. And then I also want to get suggestions from the comments section. If you guys have any ideas for videos this offseason that you would like to see, just let me know down below. I had a suggestion a while ago from one of my commenters saying that they wanted to do logo ranking. That's one thing I really want to do this offseason. And it's not just going to be a standard, the 1 to 9 logos that we see today. I'm planning to try to use all the modern logos in the CFL, just do a massive ranking video of that. So really looking forward to doing that at some point this off season. And with everything going on in the world, who knows? We may actually have another delayed start to the season next year. Don't want to say it, but it's definitely possible. So we're going to need a lot of content to fill the time. I will always be here on the channel to provide that for you. And I apologize for not uploading last week again, guys. Just really busy week for me, but I appreciate everybody for staying with me. And with that said, that is going to be the end of today's video, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. Once again, my name is Jason. If you want to support the show, the best way to do it is by hitting the like button and subscribing to Aussie's Huddle for more CFL content just like this. I greatly appreciate it, everybody. And with that said, hope everyone has a happy holidays, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.